Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I decided to treat myself to the Samsung S95 QD OLED. Now this is one of the best TVs in 2022 and I'm going to show you exactly how it looks, how it performs as a display for a PC and my perspective and what I think about it. If you're thinking of using this as a multi-purpose display, this is what it would kind of look like from a PC gamer's perspective. So very quickly, just letting you know, I'm using the NVIDIA RTX 4090 to drive this display. That's with a 1200 watt Corsair AX power supply and Intel i9 3900K and 64 gigabytes of DDR5 running at 6133 megahertz. And this is all cooled by this monster Mora L420 external radiator. So that is the setup. Now to get into how to get that 144 Hz unsupported or unofficial support. Okay guys, so I'm in my Windows 11 system. As you can see, my display is at 144 Hz. And you're probably wondering, well, how did you get there? Well, I'm just going to show you. And again, I only know how to do this with NVIDIA control NVIDIA cards. So shout out to Vincent from HDTV Test for showing me how to do this. Not personally, but he made a video, so credit to him. So as you can see in the NVIDIA control panel, there's a custom resolution I made which supports 144 Hz. Now, the downside to this is you are locked at 8-bit color depth, but honestly, it still looks absolutely amazing. You would struggle to see any difference going to 10 or 12. Now, what I want to do is go to customize. This won't be there when you do this, but if you go to create a resolution, as you can see, you're at 3840 by 2160. This will, by default, would be at 120 Hertz. All you do is put this to 144, and then the timing standard, you just click CVT reduce blank, and then you hit test. Your monitor or display might go blank for a little bit, and if it reappears, that means it's worked. And then you just hit apply, and then when you go to select resolutions, you just go up to custom, and then you'll be able to select this and you'll have access to 144 Hertz. Now, what's good about this is you can test it in a number of things like the UFO test, and it will pass, and it really does output 144 Hertz, and it's not officially supported, but it is possible. So I have Forza Horizon 5 loaded up now, and honestly, this looks absolutely amazing on the Samsung S95B. I can't even find the words to really try to describe more accurately how much of an upgrade this is from the standard OLEDs. The QD OLEDs really do have a lot of brightness and extra color to them. But anyway, what I'm really trying to show off is the unofficial 144 Hz support. So as you can see, I'm playing at a resolution of 3840 by 2160, unlocked variable frame rate. Now, the moment you enable vertical synchronization, it locks the frame rate to 144, just further showing that it is using 144 Hz. There are some games that won't show 144 Hz as an option, but trust me, the display is doing it. And I'm using extreme settings as well, just for those who are interested in what settings are running the game. Now, the Samsung S95B is probably, that and the Sony A95K are probably two of the best OLED TVs available for 2022, and there's a lot of price drops going on now. Not so much for the Sony, that still costs over $2,000, but you can get the Samsung S95B for around 1,200 in the UK now, which is definitely worth it. I think when it came out, it was closer to 1,800 for the 55-inch. I'm not too sure what the 65-inch costs. But honestly, this is definitely, without a doubt, the best display I've ever owned. and the HDR performance is on another level. I may have to show you some Cyberpunk 2077 in a few moments, because I'm using my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. It's not doing the best, it won't do the best job of showing you just how things look, but this is the best I can do from my perspective, because obviously my normal gameplays are all recorded on the PC, so I'm gonna have to do this with my phone, and this is the best I can do, unfortunately. But honestly guys, if you're in the market for a new display and you've got around $1,200, or you've got around £1,200 in the UK, this is definitely one of the displays to get. It's absolutely, basically breathtaking how deep the colors are. You think you know about red, green and blue, but believe me, until you use a QD OLED, you don't. You really don't realize how much more tones are available with these TVs. OLEDs have always suffered with peak brightness, but these QD OLEDs are pretty strong in that department. You can do over 1,000 nits, I think, on a 10% screen, 10% window, and even the SD standard definition peak brightness is over 220, and that's pretty bright. So bright, this TV, I've had to turn it down a little bit, because you know, it's just not necessary to use it at its full potential. My LG B9 that I used for 3 years, I didn't have any burning issues. Obviously I was pretty sensible with it. I enabled a screensaver, I auto hid my start taskbar. I also made sure pixel refresh ran every single time the display was off, so I never turned this display off from the mains. And just sensible things where you enable some of the precautions on the TV, like pixel shift, so every now and then the pixels will shift just ever so slightly, just to make sure there's no image retention. So burning isn't a massive concern as long as you're sensible. And with these TVs being able to produce even more brightness more comfortably, I would assume it's a lot more durable in that department. And I've never seen this Ferrari look so good. It's just stunning. That's all I can really describe the display as. You're seeing different tones in skin, and how bright it is as well. I've always liked the Samsung QLED displays because they had really nice contrast, and they were really bright. But they had to rely on local dimming for HDR, and you'll suffer with blooming and things like that. But of course, OLEDs have, you know, they can light their own pixels and they don't need dimming zones. So you don't get the blooming with subtitles when you're watching like movies, and you know, the black bars, they don't cause blooming as well. It's just almost a perfect display, and anyone that's played on the OLED knows that the pixel response time is better than LCD. So even if you've got like a VA panel or an IPS panel that has like a lower millisecond response time, like gray to gray, the OLED, the way it feels, it still feels just as good. And I think the Samsung S95B has the lowest latency rating, not in terms of low being bad. Low, obviously latency is better, but it's got one of the best low latency scores available on the market. So for me, this is definitely worth every penny. So what I'm going to do now is try and show you guys HDR. I'm going to load up Cyberpunk 2077 to show you how good that looks. Okay guys, so I've got Cyberpunk 2077 loaded up now. This is all in HDR. And of course Night City just looks the best at night time. And man, this is just a feast for the eyes, just how good this looks. And I've driven Johnny's Porsche a lot. I didn't realize the back was so green. I didn't realize how much of a green that was at the back until I've used this display. I'm just seeing detail in a different way, and the car just looks more metallic than I've ever noticed on my LG B9, what this display does, it makes materials look more lifelike. It's crazy how it does it, but that's something that it can do. I'm just going to quickly show you the settings I'm using as well. Just going to put down my on-screen display. So in terms of the resolution, 3840 by 2160 at HDR10PQ. You can do HDR10 SC RGB, but I prefer PQ. Depending on your display, you may not like that. Looking at the settings, everything is maxed out at Psycho with ray tracing as well, but I am using DLSS at the quality preset. Now it's probably worth going into the HDR settings. As you can see, maximum peak brightness is 1000, Paperwhite is 200. You can probably tweak this to your own display to be better, so this isn't like a one size fits all, but that's just what I'm using. So anyway, just going to go for a little bit of a drive. I don't know why I keep coming out the car. What the hell is going on here? What's wrong? Let's try that again. I don't know what's going on. Almost like yeah, that's kind of glitchy. Don't know why I can't. I'm gonna just walk around then, since I can't drive for some reason. But yeah, Night City does look quite amazing in ray tracing at night time, with all of the highlights just popping, like the street lights. Man, this is such a treat. Just looking at the brake light from that car in the distance, it's really, really bright. You don't see these things when you're playing the game at SD, standard definition. But when you put it to HDR, these things really, really do stand out. So getting around 70 frames per second, I'm obviously never going to hit 144 FPS with this quality settings. So this is more just showing off the TV's HDR performance rather than the unofficial 144 Hz support. I really wish I had a GPU powerful enough to lock 144 Hz with all of the trimmings, but I think we're at least 2 generations away from doing that. But the day that happens, you know, I can die a happy man. But yeah, this just looks awesome. I'm going to steal someone's car, try and find a good one so I can go for a drive and just show you guys Night City in just a bit more detail, because I don't know how well my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus is doing in terms of showing you how good this looks, but man, you really have to experience these kind of displays to know just how good it looks. I mean, the red and the brightness from this this sign is just insane. What is this place anyways? It's like a strip club or something? I don't know. I mean, this game takes a lot of stick for the glitches and stuff, rightly so, but you kind of still sit back and appreciate how good it looks in these times. When it's completely maxed out with HDR, it offers something that a lot of games don't. And everything just looks so bright. That's one of the main advantages over my LG B9. This S95B has just tremendous brightness, and I think a lot of people have been complaining like some of the recent firmware upgrades have kind of you know, ruined the brightness a little bit, but it's still pretty good, trust me. It's not a massive downgrade. I can't steal this guy's car. I really wish I could, but you know, I don't want to ruin his night. Okay, let's try and drag this person out of their car. Let's run over a civilian as well. And this just looks insane. things like headlights really just pop. They almost make you squint. That's how bright it is. Seems like something's going on. Someone needs my help. I think there's a cyber psycho here. Okay, let's go and take care of this cyber psycho. Something's going on around here.
Finger on the tree.
Yeah, she was quick. Where'd she go? And Skippy just wrecked her. Pure headshots. Anyway guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to show you what the Samsung S95B was capable of in terms of a PC experience, because most people just show it off in movies and consoles, but not many people are showing you the display potential as a monitor. And it's a fantastic multi-purpose screen, offers something different to traditional OLEDs with just the exceptional brightness and the richness in the colors. But that is pretty much it for me guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and as always